about like what 3 times a night.
Have you?
Yeah.
But I think what I'm going to do with this, Robin,
Yeah.
you see how they got this part of the wood is rounded at the end of the joint?
Yep.
I think I'm going to get a chisel and square it off so it fits in there a little further.
Oh,
And
that
then,
makes sense.
And I'll probably have to clean some of this up right here so it fits tighter. But then that'll have new meat in the wood so I can just screw to it. And I don't care if the handles, I mean, the handle going to be like this? Whoop-de-doo.
Right. That's not going to matter. That part isn't, but a loose handle is. Hey, Zach, welcome in.
Well, I would take it off and leave it like this, but my hands are not that tough.
And that could get hot when you warm that up, too.
Yeah.
We have Fish Guy Ranch with a new channel name, Everything Guy. He's in
Hi, Everything Guy. The old Fish Guy Ranch.
Yeah, I watch a lot of his stuff. He helps me. You don't know, but he helps me with my aquariums.
So there you go.
So, Avid, the guest that you had scheduled for tonight, everything's okay with her, right? She just had other things come up?
Just, we got the dates crossed between us.
Okay.
I just put it that way.
That's fine. Just making sure she's making sure everything is good with her.
Yeah, she is. So she's gonna be on next week.
Everything Guy, that's a nice name. Good name change.
I like that name change.
I do too. It broadens the spectrum.
Now, if you guys don't know Alan Detmeyer, he is with Catfish Pirates. He does veterans catfishing tournament every year.
Oh, nice.
And he will be up here as guest up here in February. We will be talking to him about his veterans tournament and stuff like that and how he's grown over the years.
Right. Hi, Troy. Welcome in. Real and Virtual Outdoors.
Yeah, we got Troy in here.
Troy has been making everybody game crazy. They're into the driving of the trucks and smashing and tipping over. And
I was watching some of it.
I tried to watch
that funny?
It makes me watching those video games the way the light is or something. I can only do it for so long and I get a headache.
Yeah, Alan, as soon as I get that thumbnail made, I get a copy out to you.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk with Alan on the show.
They're great guys. They do a lot of stuff with the veterans. Everything they run, they raise and funds go back to the veterans. FD Fisherman, how you doing?
Hi, FD. Welcome in. Oh, I can't wait. I want to get one of those.
I told Gregory that I got to read it first. He got mad at me. But the problem is, if I let Gregory have it, I'd never get it back.
Right. It's forever gone.
Catfish Pirates raised $5,000 last year for veterans.
Alan, very nice.
That's awesome.
I'd like to know more about his tournament too, because I like doing stuff like that.
Maurice Kaysen.
Hi, Maurice.
It's an on-site. Tournament thing.
So, am I afraid to travel the continental U.S.?
No, you're not.
I'm making enough trips this year.
We got trouble in the house. Watch out for that character. Hey, Jello. Hi, Joy.
Hi, Jello. Hi, Joy. I like that silver.
Not bad half in here.
What's that?
This one caught us some slab crappies yesterday or Friday.
The more I see them, the more I see you catch crappie in them, more I'm beginning to like them.
I like that.
You only had your wrench off for 30 seconds, Stan. That's it. Hey, Tom. No, if anybody has any questions for Dave or DHA or Double Hook Angling, please put him in chat.
Yeah, because I can't see it.
We'll read them off to him as he does his infamous job of tying his jigs.
No, I'm not. I was just show and telling.
No, okay. Yeah,
I'm out in the shop. I was going to pour, but I'm just going to sit here and visit.
Good.
We can visit. We can talk about whatever.
Right.
Here, see,
Hey,
look at
Tom.
Robin. Here's you a shiny silver one.
That's beautiful. Alan,
That's
I'll be
a-
in CatCon.
That head color is a new color I got. That light is in the wrong
I know.
spot.
I like that. That's cool.
I really like that one.
That is really cool. Alan, I would be going there, but I have to take care of some personal issues.
I'm trying to get rid of that glare.
I will be there. We
Can't
got
see
our
it now.
VIP passes the other day, Tommy and I.
That's
Where
why.
are you going?
CatCon in Louisville?
Oh, I wanted to go to the one in Kansas City, but it was the same weekend my son was getting married, so that didn't happen.
Yeah,
Right.
Maurice, I do agree with you. Them shad jigs do make good skipjack jigs.
Yeah, I had a guy buy some this last week that the gray and purple ones that I'm calling gizzard shad. I had a guy buy a couple dozen of those for skipjack.
Yeah, I bet you that went well. What colors did you do for him? Is it all
He
just
just
the
wanted
red?
that what I call the gizzard shad. So it's kind of a violet head, the violet purple, and
Yeah.
then silver body, but it has a piece of purple chenille for the back of it. That
Yeah,
you
okay.
strip forward, and then the hackle and the rubber skirts for the tail. I've got a video that I posted about how I tied that jig, but it's been
How long ago?
Man, that phone just won't stay for me.
Alan, I look forward to meeting you there also. My sister Pontoon Jody just came in.
Yeah,
Hi, Jody.
I've been giving her grief ever since I seen her up on Mike's fishing home under the name Chewbacca.
But
You have Turtle Lady in the house.
I
Hi,
do.
Angelina.
I do have my personal box with me, Avid, that I use when I go out for myself. So if you guys
show it
want a
off.
peek of my personal box,
I want to see if you have any of my favorite ones in there.
Hold on,
You got the
let me
orange
give you
ones.
full screen. Those are nice.
You know what I don't? Oh, there it is. The very bottom. It would be your left hand.
right here.
No, the other one, the whitetail redheads.
Oh, right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those would be my favorite, along with the orange ones. You know I love orange.
You know that jig color I was telling you, the jig head color I was telling you about?
Yeah, I've still to yet find one that
No, the
I
one
think would be right.
The one she pointed out to you in your bottom, the very
Yeah.
bottom one, that's the jig head color I was talking about.
Well, I showed you that, but you said when I showed it to you on a big jig head, you said it didn't look right.
It looked better on a smaller jig head for some reason. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm not
Hi,
used to
Joy.
that. I'm not used to
Welcome
having
in.
them. I'm not used to seeing them on a big jig. I'm used
Well,
to
now I got tiny jigs. I'm going to spend all day tomorrow making 80s.
Now, Pontoon Jody says those black ones are money. They're the ones I would want.
Oh yeah. Hey,
And Turtle Ladies put out the link for your YouTube channel.
Well, thank you.
Troy wants to know
Which ones was you talking about, Jody? Probably this one.
Troy wants to know which jig did you catch that bucket of crappie on?
These ones.
The silver ones, yeah.
Yeah, the shad.
Those are nice.
And she said yes to the black ones that you pointed out. Hey, we
Well,
got Coastal Waters in here.
Hi, Coastal.
Coastal's in here.
Yeah, so Panda shouldn't be far behind.
Say hi, Panda.
Howdy, Panda.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt if Backlash. Oh no, Backlash is doing his hobby hangout.
Dave, I know you have a goal of so many jigs this year.
I'm behind.
Are ya? How much are you behind?
I'm at like 6 something.
And you wanted to make how many?
Well, I want to make 1,000 a month. So I have until the end of the month to do like another 350.
Oh, you do 350 in a day sometimes.
It's a long day, but yeah, I could.
Yeah. So you're not behind.
Especially the small ones that only take like 1 or 2 feathers for the tail.
Right.
See, Avid, here's that color on a big head.
Yeah, to me it just looks different, but
it looks brighter on a. I think a lot of it has to do with the shop lights.
Right.
Because on the phone it looks way brighter.
Right. But on a tiny jig it looks perfect.
Coastal says, "Oh, talking to me from Panda. Hello, everyone."
But there's a 1/4 ounce.
Yeah, I figured that one.
That's a huge jig.
Hello,
Now,
Tony,
what size were the? I'm sorry, Evan. I didn't mean to talk over you, but what size was the one that you actually used for the crappie that were such slabs?
1/8. They're 1/8.
Just to give everybody a heads up, we will be doing our first live trivia night, February 12th. It'll be questions both on catfishing and Valentine's Day.
Jeff Beals in the house. He says, if they are 1/2 inch gap, perfect for salmon.
Yeah, these are these hook gaps on these are more than that because these hooks are 1/0.
Yeah, only you would come up with treble hook jigs, Stan.
Maybe got it. Avid big jig head. Excuse me, Avid big jig head catches big headed crappie.
Troy, I've caught 2.5 pound crappies on a 1/32 jig. Hello, Big O.
Yeah, if you look
Big
at
O.
that, that's a 1/2 inch gap.
Wow.
Now, what size hook is that in your hand? The same one
It's
that
a
you had?
1/0. That's what those jigs were made
Okay.
on. But these jigs are 3 inches long too.
Yeah, I noticed they were the longer ones.
Yeah, and
Hold on a minute, I'll be right back. Well, let's see if I got something in the room here.
Okay.
actually, I fibbed to
Bring
you,
it back
Robin.
on the camera a little bit.
Oh, sorry. I fibbed to you. They're a little over 2.5. So when you hold it in your hand, you're like, yeah, it's 3 inches long. But
Yeah, it looks like it, that's because you also have the hook that you're holding. Yeah, I get it.
But they're a big jig, and you wouldn't think this time of year that a crappie would hit jig that big. But
They're hungry.
today we went out today, and it was just cold today, and we caught a few crappie on jigs today. But today, a crappie was caught on one of these.
Oh, nice.
So
That's one of the little ones, the 16.
yeah, this is a size 10 on it, and it's a 1/64 head.
Oh, it's 64th. Okay.
Yeah.
Troy said, I like those sickle hooks the best.
Yeah, and I was experimenting. I mean, I've used Eagle Claw. I've used Eagle Claw,
You're fine,
but
Ernie.
I buy them by the 1,000.
Oh, nice.
It's just cheaper that way. But I mean, you're still going to spend, like, this box was $50.
Yeah,
But
that was not cheap.
yeah, but they're worth it. But what I've done lately, because Eagle Claw, I've been noticing that they've been having quite a few goof ups in the box. So out of the 1,000, I've been getting like 15 to 20 goof ups. And so I switched over to Victory hooks, which I think they're the same hook. I think they're made on the same line.
Are they the
Because
same
I
way?
switched over to these, and these actually cost $5 more a box. And I don't think it's worth it.
Now, Sasquatch Stan says, I saw some saltwater jigs I'm going to use for flatheads.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Aholic? Hi, Joy Stewart. Hi, Skull Rush. Scott Swift.
But I think I think that a lot of these hooks just come off the same line, you know, where they bend them and what have you.
I found out even with the 1/32 ton jigs, I still have to put another hook behind it because they like to bite the tails and not the hook.
Yeah.
Still run that hook, the sting hook through that barb and get it floating on that hook towards hanging back a little bit.
Now,
Yeah.
Jody says she has a friend tying some jigs
I seen
using
it.
circle hooks.
Yeah. That
Because they
a
hold
lot of
up
people
better.
use that when they, especially if they're in a boat and like for, I see a lot of people do it for skipjack and stuff. But what I do when I know that I'm going to be in an area where crappie are going to be hitting short, it's kind of
Yeah.
hard to show you. Hold on a minute. Let me get some forceps. But what I do is I just use, you know, the bigger hook, but make the tail shorter.
Okay. But
So to where, you know, the hook is way back here now instead of up here where, you know, you would think it would be on a crappie jig.
she was saying about the hook straightening.
Oh, no,
So-
these hooks won't straighten. And well, if you get into a flathead or something, you know, you hook a
Right.
flathead or
He was saying
something,
a skipjack
It'll-
would
it'll
straighten it.
straighten.
Aren't those the Aberdeen hooks?
Huh?
Aren't those like an Aberdeen hook with it really strong?
No, Aberdeen. I think an Aberdeen is more of a. I would say more of a wire hook. You know, a light wire. I think the Aberdeen would be weaker. But here's some.
That's
Here's
right.
some.
The Aberdeens are the gold ones. That's right.
Here, I'll show you a
Stand
jig
outdoors,
hook.
welcome in.
Hey, Dave.
Here's you a jig hook.
Skull Rush wants to know if you have a website.
Yeah, it's doublehooangling.com. You can't purchase the jigs off of there yet, but you can get to my Facebook and Instagram off of that website.
Or you can, if you're on Facebook, you can message me and I can probably relay his info to you if it's all right.
Yeah.
It's doublehooangling.com, isn't it?
Yeah, but you can hit me up on doublehooangling@gmail and just send me an email. That's probably the easiest way to do. Just send me an email what you want. I need to know the size of the head you want, the size of the and like the color of the head, the size of the head, the body color and the tail color. Do you see that, Avid?
Yeah.
That is that's a 5/0.
Wow.
And that thing is 2.5 inches.
That's about a good size for
And then what's the
Striped
gap
jig.
on that one? Is that one still a 1/2 inch too?
No, this one's going to be like a 3/4 almost, or 5/8 or something. Hold on.
now do you
Yeah, that's almost a 3/4 inch gap. Look right
Wow.
there.
Yeah, 3/4.
Not more like 5/16 or 5/8. Get my fractions. I've been up since 5 this morning. Forgive me.
Oh, you're forgiven. Now the ones that there's people that say they prefer circle hooks.
Circle
Do you
hook for
offer
what?
circle hooks?
I prefer circle hooks when I'm catfishing, yes. But when I'm fishing for just about everything else, I don't use them. I just use a regular J hook.
But I mean, if they contact you via your website or your email, would you offer a circle hook jig type thing for them?
Well, they'd have to tell me kind of what they want. Now, I've made bucktail stinger hooks with circle hooks.
Okay. Sorry, my dogs are. Yeah.
Do you do sickle hooks, jigs?
Yeah, almost all my jigs are done on sickle hook, unless you want a gold hook, and then I can do that. But I've got here. Let me show you.
Joy did say while you're looking for it, Scott loves Aberdeen and has caught some big fish on them. Thank you, Thumpaholic Fishing, for the.
Yeah, see, here's the Aberdeen style. Here's the Aberdeen style jig hook.
Yeah.
And that's why I said I do make them and I do use them. It's just they're not that called for.
Oh, I understand that.
But this is what most people refer to as an Aberdeen's. What I'm fixing to get out. These are what most people refer to as the Aberdeen's.
Yeah, the gold hooks.
Yeah. And I do have those too. And I do tie on those. It's just, I only tie on those when there's a request.
Gotcha.
If you order jigs from me and you don't tell me that you want an Aberdeen hook, you're going to get a sickle hook. The Aberdeen, some people really like those gold Aberdeens better because they'll bend straight. So if you get hung up on brush or something like that. But to tell you a little secret, go get you a bell weight, a little drop weight that, like this. But get the ones that have the plastic top that has an open clip on it. So you can just clip it on your line. So then when your jig gets hooked up, you clip that on your line and you just let that slide down and bounce it a couple times, and it usually gets your jig unhooked.
Hello, Naomi. Welcome in. Hi, Ronnie.
Hi, Ronnie. Hi, Naomi. Jeff Field says, if you foul hook a catfish called a snag, doesn't count.
I have foul hooked fish before jigging.
Pontoon Jody says, if I get a snagged catfish in the boat, it counts.
Did you see in the tournament on Saturday of the Winter Blues where they had 2 fish brought in from a 1 hook line?
I've seen that.
It was a paddlefish head tied up themselves in their line. And when they reeled it in, they just thought it was, tangled up in the line. So they took the paddlefish out, and then they realized there was still a catfish on the line and it was on the hook. And they reeled that in. Oh, here's another good pointer. Troy says from Reelin' Virtual Outdoors, old spark plugs work good for jig knockers.
Yeah. Hello, Doc Reed.
Hi, Doc.
My only problem is when I do jigs, I do a double jig setup.
Yeah. There's times I do too.
See, I've never done a double jig.
I have one color up, then about 8-9 inches down, I have another color.
Yeah. I do that a lot. Usually when I do that, I'll have a heavier one on the bottom.
Right.
And a lighter one up top. But if you're casting long distances instead of just vertically jigging, if you're actually casting with the bobber and stuff, sometimes 2 jigs will get your bobber all fouled up and stuff. Because they want to orbit each other as they're flying through the air.
I've learned how to do long distance casting from the bank with a 12-foot crappie rod with a weighted bobber.
Yeah.
With a double jig where they don't tangle up.
Yeah. Most of the time I'm using a slip bobber And just because I want if I got this, I mean, the difference is with a fixed bobber, when you go to jig it, it's only going to move a little bit. With that slip bobber, you're going to pull it up. And I seem to get more strikes just right after I move the bobber or right as I'm moving the bobber. And I think it's because it pulls the jig up more.
Mhm.
Right.
So I'm a firm believer in, just go get you a few.
I have them, but mine are made out of balsa wood.
That's what this one is.
Oh,
This
really?
one's
Just
balsa.
painted differently, isn't it?
No, when I say balsa wood, it's made all of balsa wood, even the stems.
Oh, these are plastic tube stems.
Right. And
There's
I'll
my
add-
just-
girl
I
Ashley.
get these because they're $1.25 a piece.
I get the ones that are all balsa wood for about like $1.75, $2.
Yeah.
I'm laughing at Jody and Jeff Beal in chat. They're arguing over baseball
learned- I learned when I use a 3-inch weighted float and double jigs. If I slowly retrieve it, the jigs still stay at the same depth, but they're
Yeah.
moving real slowly like minnows or bait fish do. And they normally get hit really, really quick or really hard that way. Hello?
Well, you want to see my find of the day while I was at the lake today?
Sure.
Oh wow!
They got serrated teeth on the cutter part here, so you could cut braid,
Yeah.
and then a smooth jaws, so you're not damaging your lure or you're scratching your hook or nothing.
Right.
And then
then
they
the
do have a
handle.
lock set, like regular forceps, and then they have a carabiner you could throw it on your belt. But I found
That's
them
pretty
at the lake today. Just as soon as I was getting in the truck, I looked down and I was like, "What's that in the grass?" I had to get down and get them.
Oh wow! Thank you, Turtle Lady, for
And
posting
also
the
right
link.
here, for those that put paint on their jig eyes,
Yeah, it's a good way to clean them out.
That is an awesome way.
I like that.
but
Those
you'll
are
never
nice
get
that
you will never get a jig from me that has paint in the eye.
Hey, can I get my mod to share out DHA and Robin's link?
They have been. Turtle Lady just did it.
Sharing both links out?
Yep.
Cool.
She's on it.
But
How's your
today when we
dad?
went
It is a
out there,
cool tool.
today
Excuse
when
me
we went
while I
out,
go quiet my dog's done. They just had supper, so they're a little bit wild up. So give me 1 second.
Go ahead,
yeah,
Dave.
when we went fishing today, and we were actually catching our crappie drop shotting live worms. We caught a few off of the bobber and the jig, but they just turned off because it was real windy and nasty, and it was so cold. I was shivering, and when I got home, I couldn't get warm.
Now, how far were you casting and how deep were you?
Oh, we were casting. Well, so Friday when we went fishing, we were only casting maybe 50, 60 feet out, and we're probably in 3 foot of water, 4 foot of water. And then today we were casting 150 feet with the drop shot set up and pulling back, and that's how far out we had to get to actually get something. When we were fishing with the bobber, a couple of the guys were having trouble getting the bobbers out far enough, but they just get on the edge of where the crappie was.
But see,
But we didn't do near as, like Friday we caught 24 crappie in like 2.5 hours. And the smallest one was like 12 inches, and the biggest one was 15 plus. But today we caught, I think we only caught 9 or 10 crappie total, and there was like 4 of them that were under 12, but the rest were big. And then one of them was 1.9 pounds, and 15 inches long. But
Yeah,
that thing was like that thing had shoulders on it like it was a submarine.
Oh yeah. When I had that problem of not getting out there with a crappie with a 3-inch jig, 3-inch weighted float and the double jig,
Yeah.
double jig right there towards the bottom jig, I take maybe an 1/8 ounce split shot or a little bit bigger and pinch it on there and cast it out. It'll keep it straight, but you'll also get another 15, 20 feet of line out to where the crappie are.
Yeah. Well, there's times where I will actually drop shot my crappie jigs. I'll run a 1/2 ounce weight like this, bank weight, and then up 2 foot, I'll put a jig. So that way, when I'm bringing it back, it's at least up off the ground. And, that way you could kind of jig it in place. But with the 1/2 ounce weight and 2 pound line, or even 4 pound line, you can still cast 150, 175 feet.
We have Sampy that came in the house.
What are you doing?
She came to say hi.
Somebody asked.
Hello.
Oh, somebody asked for you to come out here?
No,
Oh.
Hello, Naomi.
See, she got
She
a
said-
pink one.
She said she was the smart one. She stayed home.
Yeah.
I like your sweatshirt, Naomi.
Turn around and show them the back. It's just like mine,
Very nice.
just on a pink one.
Now,
I've got a few pink ones left.
Now, what does your hoodies cost?
35.
Naomi, LG Bass is saying hello.
Naomi LG Bass said hello.
Pontoon Jody said nice shirt.
She's getting the dog.
Okay.
Laura the Explorer. She says good evening, all.
She's another good fisherman. If you
Yeah,
ever
I like watching Laura.
Laura the Explorer, now she has some great videos of both fishing and exploring and going and checking out haunted places, old buildings and stuff like that. Laura the Explorer is really good with that.
Stampy's in the house, and Johnny Smallpepper came in. Hello, Johnny.
Hey,
Hello,
Johnny.
Johnny. So how are you doing tonight, Naomi?
Can you hear what they're saying, Naomi? What'd they say?
kind of.
See, you can't hear. She don't have her hearing aids
She shakes
in.
her
So
head.
they said, how are you doing tonight, dear?
Fine.
See, this is what I was working on, Avid, pouring these up.
Okay.
So you pouring up the ones so that you can bake them, so that you can make them to meet your 1,000 a month?
Yeah, there's probably 150 in here.
Fine.
So what I do is I get the sandwich tubs that you get lunch meat in,
Yeah.
and then I reuse those. And then I got here, show you. This is what I poured up yesterday, was these two, and then this one.
Oh, okay.
And then the 200 that were in the house that I colored.
Thumpaholic wants to know how you color them.
You do what?
Thumpaholic wants to know how do you color your jigs.
That's for the baking process.
Okay, I can show you real quick, but it'll be a little loud. Here, I'll do it with the bigger jig.
Johnny Smallpeppers, one of these Sunday nights, we're going to get you up here. Let you tell your story.
Okay, you see my heat gun?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you can see the top of it, maybe.
Scoot it over this way a little bit more. There you go.
Okay, so I turn it on. Then I open up the jar of powder paint, and I go like this, and I just heat it up for a couple of seconds. That's actually waiting. I gotta wait for it to get a little warmer. It's not heated up yet. This one's kind of old. Okay, there. Don't do that. It's hot, guys. But just do a couple seconds on each side, and then I just go swish, swish,
Oh.
and that's it. then I'll take and now that I got that colored, it's not on there like really well because I just got enough heat in there to grab some of that powder.
Right.
So then what I'll do is I'll set this on a cooking rack, like a baking rack on a cookie
Right.
sheet, and I'll hang this on there and I'll bake them in the oven at 325 or 330. I set them in there with the oven cold, then I set it to bring it to that temp. Then it brings up to that temp, and then I turn it off, and then I leave them in there for about 10 to 20 minutes. And then I take them off because right now, since this is a disco color, see, there you go. See, since that's a disco color, it's kind of got glitter in it. So it's rough. But when you bake it in the oven, it'll smooth out, but it'll still be shiny glitter like that.
Have you ever tried two-tones?
Yeah. Like, see, now that that's got a color on there, even though it's cool to the touch, you can come back, and if you're careful, I get something that there'll be a contrast. Even though this is a disco and it's got glitter, I'll take this cobalt. Actually, I need to. And when we get powders, they're packed. They're like it compresses. The powder compresses together. So if you just tap on it and then spin it a little bit, it like loosens the powder up. So you saw how low it was earlier. See now, look. See how it like actually rose up some?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then if you're careful, you can just take the back of your jig and just give it enough heat, but you don't want to do it too much. And if you have to, you can repeat it until you get
Don't burn yourself.
enough heat in there, but be careful because you don't want to overheat it. There you go. So there's your two-tone.
Oh, that's cool.
That's very cool.
Sorry, turn that back off so I can hear. But there's your two-tone. And if you do it easier to where it's like more like this, you can get it in there a little flatter. But
By the time you tie it off, it looks
Yeah.
good.
yeah, by the time you tie it off, you're going to have that,
Yeah.
color pretty much where you want.
Everybody said that looks awesome, that two-tone.
I'll have a couple that when you first start doing two-tones, you got to get like your, angle of your dangle right and, just get everything in there just the way you want it. But once you get a couple of them done to where it like you get the way you need to hold it or where you need to hold it or whatever, you can do 50 of them real quick.
The angle of your dangle.
Well, I didn't know. I mean, you know what I mean. Like, Robin.
Robin, I wasn't going to touch that one. I was going to leave that one to you.
That's
But-
the new quote from David.
Now, if you do a two-tone like this, like, see, this has got the cobalt blue on the bottom and the silver on the top. What I would do with this is I would run a couple gray feathers, maybe hit it with a one single blue feather on the bottom, and then do like a white and blue center or just a blue center or a silver center or something like that.
Now, here's an idea for you, Dave.
I'm listening.
Since that silver and blue with glitter, do a blue feather on the bottom and wrap it like you did your silver shads
Yeah.
and see how that looks.
Yeah,
Well,
I
he
got,
kind of was going with that because he said one blue feather
yeah.
and then
It's pretty much the
you
same thing, but I think Avid's meaning add the rubber.
No, I
Because
don't
you
think
could even
so.
do that. Actually, that would be good to do the gray feather and then do the blue rubber
Right,
over the gray or silver feather.
right. Do it that way.
Yeah. See, here's a two-tone feather where it's got,
Yeah.
white with the pink in it.
Uh-huh.
Now this one's been in the lake a few times, so it's kind of straightened out and
But have the feathers
But look
silver
how well it holds
and the
up.
body blue,
yeah, get out of my way, stupid thing. Here.
Dave.
I'm tired of trying to burn myself. But if you look at this one, see the head is a pearl white
Mhm.
and the body is a white with blue and red sparkly stuff in the chenille.
Yeah, the glitter.
Yeah, this jig right here is really great for trout. because especially the bigger rainbow trout. I'm not specifically this size, but this size would work okay. But the tiny ones, if you do it in this color, because trout will eat themselves, and this kind of resembles the trout color with the sparkle and the pink and white when they're a fry.
We see what the jigs look like to us outside of the water. It looks different inside the water to the other fish.
Yeah, and like what I've said this many a times. Yellow versus chartreuse versus pink versus white. To a fit to the crappie, almost all those colors are the same hue.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, jigs are made. That's why that's why I literally have like 47 colors or something like that. And, I think the last counted, I had like 90 some different colors of chenille. And I probably got 50 different color feathers. And it's just because people want different stuff.
Now, Troy says he sometimes streak tails with a permanent marker to make a two-tone tail.
Yeah. Yeah. There's times where I'll take scissors and I will I'm going to make somebody cry.
Hey, Turtle Lady, can you please post Ashley Brady's link?
Maybe I won't. I don't have no scissors. But normally, if there's times where I'll take this jig like this, and I will literally cut that much off with a pair of scissors to where it is just this much of a jig.
Now, what's the purpose of that one?
If there's short tail in it, I'll just cut that feather off. If I keep feeling like they're hitting the jig, but I can feel them hit it and I miss them, I'll just whack that off and I'll throw it a few times. And then if I get something, I know that they're short tailing it, and you can either, like what Avid said, you can run another hook off of there, or just go with a jig that has a shorter tail.
See, what I do is I take a number 6 bait hook and put it behind there.
Yeah.
Right
well, and some people don't realize that. Okay, say you're using this combo here, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're using this combo, which is a pink head, silver body, marabou tail. So you're using this, and this is all swooping through. But you keep getting bites, but you're not hooking nothing. They could be hitting that pink head.
Oh, yeah.
So that's when you take and you grab the jig that's all white with the pink tail and try that. And if they start smacking this and you start hooking up, then you know that they're after that pink. And the like this darker, brighter pink, this is a UV pink. So I'm assuming that they can see that different than the white. When I'm saying that they're seeing the pink and the white together, I'm talking like that light baby pink, not a hot, pink.
Right.
And I would agree with you on that, because I found out a lot of times when they're not hooking up, they're either hitting the head or the body.
Yeah.
Because they like that color, but when you put that color on the tail with that little stinger hook, you're going to get more hookups.
Yeah. See, here's one of my older ones. I probably tied this jig, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago now. This is one of the older ones in my box. Now, see, it has a brass hook, but if you look carefully, that brass hook's got, I don't know if you can see it. I mean, I said brass, gold.
Yeah.
There's corrosion on that, especially down in here. There's corrosion from where it was in the lake and stuff. And that powder coat is not as shiny as it was.
Yeah.
But that jig has probably caught 50 fish. And you can see that the belly's a little wore where their jaw and stuff was kind of rubbed the chenille away.
Yeah.
But that jig is still tied.
Yeah, that's where they were attacking it.
Now, Thumpaholic says, I find hair jigs work well in the winter months.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was saying is like this time of year, everybody's thinking that you're going to be using stuff this big, or even like, ouch. That went under my fingernail.
Ouch.
Or like what Robin said, this one here, the little red head and stuff, or was that you, Avid?
That was me.
Yeah, like this one with the little red head here. You would think that they'd be hitting that size, but this last couple years, I've been catching my winter crappie on jigs that are like this big. The thing is I don't catch as many, and I hardly catch anything under 10 inches. But, you know, I mean, how many crappie are you going to eat when they're like what we caught Friday? The smallest one was 12. The biggest was 15. It only took 5 fish and it fed 4 of us.
Yeah.
No, you can't say that about crappie too often.
No, but hey, that's where it comes in to have a good vacuum sealer. So when you flay them out, you can always vacuum seal them and store them up for the wintertime when you're not catching anything.
There's one of my first people that got some of my bucktails.
Yep,
Yeah,
back on.
he's an awesome dude.
Yeah,
Sure is.
Yak Shore, Mrs. Yak Shore, and Baby Yak.
I still want to get him up as a guest one night. But going back to what Thumpaholic said about those hair jigs working in winter months.
Yeah.
I found out in the spring and summer when you're using minnows for crappie and they're not biting, and you go to a rubber jig and they're not biting as much, you can pick out a certain color hair jig and you can start cranking on those crappie left and right.
Okay, the last couple years, I said this on my live, I think Friday. Last couple years, I've been using the Disco Gold Head and an orange tail, and a brown body. But this year, since I went with the whole orange for my deal, and I have the Chartreuse and the black on the back of my hoodies and my logo and everything for my company, this is the color that I've been using. See if they'll show up there. This is the color that I've been using, and I've been calling this one my double hook jig.
Yeah.
And this one has produced quite a few crappie for me this year. And that's like the biggest I use is that when I go for that. But the other day we were out, me and Gregory caught 75 crappie in 2 hours at Kingman Lake. But they were all like, you know, this big.
Right. Those are ones I throw back.
Well, we threw them all back. And except for 5 of them, we gave away to a gentleman that was down there, and he wasn't having any luck. And he was a little stubborn. He wouldn't take a jig. I was trying to give him a couple jigs, and he didn't want them, but that's fine.
As many jigs as I got in my backpack for crappie, people always want to know where I got them and what they cost, and I end up filling up their bucket with bluegills and crappie.
Yeah. Well, on my website, you'll be able to buy my jigs before too long. But right now, I've been carrying for the last couple of years. I just carry jigs around with me, and I give them away mostly. That's been my problem. Is I see somebody struggling or somebody that's got some old ratty stuff that they've had gotten from grandpa that passed on 10 years back or something, and they're just out trying something, or maybe that was their first time out fishing, and you're just you can see when somebody's having a hard time,
right?
And I always try to just hey, how you doing, you catching anything, oh hey, we were over here and this is what I was using, try these, and I'll give them a few, and of course I will say, well, it's just you know what I mean. You see somebody and you just feel like you want to help them out. So
yeah, I can never have enough jigs. I fish too close to cover because I'm stubborn.
Well, here's my thing it's like, okay, so I show you this is my personal box, but this is like my pond box. This is what I take when I go to 2 places. This box only goes with me to 2 places. The other places that I fish, I have other boxes that go to those places. And I've got my colors and my sizes down for like where I go, the spots I go, the time of year I go. But, when you get older, you start you know, and if you've lived in the same spot for 30 years like I have, you kind of know what works where. But I do, every once in a while, I try out some stuff, and I was like, ooh, that looks good. I'm going to use that. Or maybe I need to just take that down there to the lake.
You guys, I'll be right back. I'm going to run outside and get my crappie box.
Okay.
But yeah, Robin, the other day we went out, and me and Gregory, we caught 75 crappie. And I've got that footage on my GoPro that I need to get on my computer. And today I went out to film today, and my 100 and whatever it is card is full, and my 32 gig card is full, and I was like, so I didn't do any filming at all today, but it was a long, cold day, so it was. It didn't turn out to be the best day, so it was all right. It was fun to just
the heated dock then, huh?
No, there was no heated dock. Today was cold. When we got there, it was 28 degrees with a north-northwest wind at about 10 to 11 miles an hour. And where we were fishing at, the water was coming right off the lake into our face.
Oh, wow.
And with me being in the wheelchair, my legs touch my metal on my wheelchair, and it just sucks the heat out of my legs fast. And after we were there for about an hour, I was like, guys, we got to move to the other side. I can't do this no more. I'm frozen. We moved over to the other side. We caught a fish or two. And then we was like, well, it warmed back up enough. It got almost to 40. So we moved back over where we was. It was still, even though it was 40, that wind coming off that lake and that cold, it was cold.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my hoodie on and my jacket, but I didn't have no bib overalls. A buddy of mine last year stole my bibs, or he's like, I'm going to wear your bibs, and I ain't never got them back. So
I got about 3 inches of snow today.
Yeah, we were supposed to get 3 inches of snow yesterday, and it was just melting as soon as it hit the ground. But we did get rain all day yesterday. It was wonderful. I assume it'll take a few days for the crappie to rebound like they was the other day. But
now, you were working on boxes for selling in your store with the jigs.
Yeah.
Have you decided on how many you're going to put?
Okay, I got my boxes. I got 3 boxes basically I got 1 box set up that's made and ready to go. And it'll be $65 for the box. It's a box full of jigs. There's 40 jigs in it. And, but that's 65 mailed to your door on that one.
Hey, Kevin, welcome in.
And, actually I can go run and get that real quick, Robin,
Okay.
Let me run the house. Give me 20 seconds.
Oh, sure. Welcome back, Avid.
Oh, I just had to go get my crappie backpack.
There you go.
No. You haven't seen how addicted to crappie I am yet.
No, you're right. I haven't.
When you see this backpack, it's loaded. Everything crappie and a few things for bluegill. And I got 2 backpacks like that.
Okay, that's a little overkill.
No, actually, I got 2 backpacks and the third one started.
Okay.
There you go.
Hey, Dave.
Yes, sir.
You want to see how addicted to crappie I am?
Let me see your box.
That's a big backpack. It's fully loaded with jigs, tackle, bobbers, everything.
Here, I'm gonna. Here, Avid. You want to see my crappie addiction real quick?
Hey, that's just 1 backpack.
Hey, Ronnie Oakley.
All those boxes are nothing but crappie boxes.
Hey.
Each one's for a different lake, a different spot.
Now, do you have them color coded, or do you just remember?
No, I just know which one's which.
Dave, that's just 1 backpack of crappie. I got 3 more going.
Okay, I got to move some stuff here.
Hey, who knows who makes these?
Call Betty.
Boy, I just jacked my phone.
Uh-oh, what'd you do? I have no idea. Who's Tall Betty?
They're Lyle Stokes jigs. Those are some nice jigs.
I think I just cracked my screen.
Oh,
do that.
no. Your whole screen or the screen? Oh, the screen cover or what?
Well, I'm hoping it didn't make it through my cover, but I think it did.
There's
I
What
got a
happened?
screen protector on it, but it was my fault for having it where I had it.
Yeah. That's a favorite one I like so far.
Jeff Beal says there's never overkill acquiring fishing tackle.
Dave.
That's one I like.
I had that thing setting up on my. Oh, that's a nice one.
That's one of the ones that Lyle tied.
When Lyle's got you.
Uh-huh. That one's got a lot of crappie.
Thumpaholic
All right.
Fishing says my wife calls my car the tackle box on wheels.
See this? Here you go, Robin.
Okay.
Here's the one. Here's the one I got for sale. These are the ones I have for sale.
What does that
They'll-
box run?
I left it to where you can still see that it's a Gamakatsu box,
Right.
and then it's got the sticker on it, so you know it's from me. But this is what I've decided for inside,
Very nice.
and Jody will like those
Yep.
because you can't hardly see them. There's actually a jig there.
Yeah, I see that.
You know the jigs I can't find anymore, Dave?
What's that?
Are them. Them little tiny jigs like that one.
Oh, I could hardly see that.
How
that
many
was
do
a
you
jig.
want?
Oh, those
I get.
are-
I'm not talking about the rubber bait part, but
no,
the jig.
that's a jig. That's a Ratso jig. I can't find them anymore.
All I could see was the head. I couldn't hardly see the body. Oh, okay. That's a little rat tail.
Uh-huh. I can't find them anymore.
Thumpaholic says he has no trunk space now. And Yak Shore says one thing I want to point out about double hook angling is that he doesn't only tie crappie jigs. His bass jigs are fantastic too. I have video evidence of it on a catfish tournament a while back.
Who was that? Said that?
Yak Shore.
Oh, yeah. What he's talking about is my Ned rig stuff.
JBT's in the house. Says, how's it going, ladies and gentlemen?
JBT, how you doing, bud? You know, I think between people that tie jigs and brush pile jigs, I spend more money on brush pile jigs and people that tie jigs than I go anywhere else.
You know why I started tying jigs when I was a kid? Because I got tired of paying for the jigs because I would lose like 20 a day.
Donald
I
Long
used to
came
do
in
that.
and said, hello, Avid, Robin, and
You
David.
see what that is?
You mean Robin?
I'm
Avid,
trying to see it.
Can you see my cookie?
I don't know who she's talking to. There's no one on my left.
I didn't say lap. I'm trying to move
Certainly
him
you did.
to.
You mean her? Turtle lady? Talking about Froggy?
You
What
see
is
what
that,
I got,
David?
Avid?
That's a cookie.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
hot.
snickerdoodle.
You dang right. Now we just brought it out. See her
I'm
fingerprints in it? When she smushes them, she don't use fork or nothing. She just uses her hand and smushes them.
What flavor is it?
Snickerdoodle.
I'm jealous. Oh, I know what turtle lady's
She's talking about the skull.
She's talking about what?
I'll
the
show you
skull,
what she's
man.
talking about. Hello, people.
You
He
are
must have
so
a headache. He's missing the top of it.
Yeah, he got scalped. That's what Turtle Lady was talking about.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
gonna have to go inside and eat 4 more of these.
He normally has a hat on.
I know. Tell her she's
That's-
got to cook for the show now.
I was gonna say that's what happens when you go bald and you go out in the sun and your brain gets exposed.
Hey, I don't wear a hat in the springtime.
Hey, I'm going bald. I'm getting there.
Hey, my problem is I'm too tall. I run into ceiling fans and low doors.
I just tell everybody now it's falling out and coming. It's sinking. Going through.
There you go. There you go.
Where's my? I keep brushing it the crooked way.
I would like to say this to anybody that's members or like to become a member to this channel. I will be doing surprise giveaways once or twice a month, depending on how many members we get on this channel. So if you'd like to become a member, we will start doing some members shows and stuff like that.
So, Avid, did you? Are you still doing the trash bag challenge thing?
Yeah, I'm going to pick it back up in the spring because it got a little too cold for some people. Why? What's up?
No, just asking if you're still doing it.
Yeah, we're still doing it. I just let off because of this weather is just too nasty lately.
Yeah.
And now a lot of people's going to go out there in -1 degree weather pick up trash.
Yeah, we were out at Cheney Reservoir yesterday, or day before yesterday, and there was a bunch of trash out there. And we actually left because we weren't getting nothing, and then went over to where we caught all them big crappie.
Yeah.
I'm glad we moved.
Oh, I bet.
Well,
Now, when you brought all those crappie home,
Yeah.
how long would you say it took you to get them all cleaned up and prepared?
20 minutes.
But there's one lake I go to that's not even 10 minutes from my house. They have no limit on crappie, no size limit, no bag limit. And I walk out of there with some 1.5 2 pound crappie, about 18 of them in less than an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what there was a couple crappie caught today that were approaching 2 pounds.
Wow. Turtle Lady says it's horrible to see that trash all around.
Yeah, well, here's the thing is like me, I see it all, but for the most part, I can't do nothing about it because most of it's in the rocks, and I'm not crawling down in the rocks.
No.
I mean, if I was walking, it'd be a different story, but I'm not getting out of my chair and crawling down to try to pick up somebody's trash.
Right,
Gregory will pick up some of the stuff, but
QC Brian came in. He said hi to you and Abbott and I.
Hello, Brian. Hello, 922.
Jeff Beal says, I have a day out of the year that multiple people clean the creek.
Dave,
yeah, see, that'd be a good thing. That'd be actually a good idea. Get some of your fishing buddies, if you've got fishing buddies, just pick one day and say, hey, we're going to go and we'll do some fishing, have lunch, make a shore lunch or whatever. And then we'll like pick up a certain, stretch of shoreline or something like that. And
922 Crappie Barbecue is in the house. Hi, welcome in.
Dave,
if you bring it, you can carry it out, right? Exactly.
I have an idea for a future show for us.
Perfect.
And it could be crappie tackle talk.
Crappie what?
Crappie tackle talk.
Oh, yeah?
From the rods, the reels, the lines, the way we rig them, all that stuff in the future show.
That'd be a good one.
Oh, yeah. I think it would.
Gregory put my pole too far back in the pole holder. I can't get to it, or I'd get mine and show you what I did.
Naomi says if everyone picked something up soon, we would get it all.
Oh, Ronnie, you're sweet. Ronnie said I was looking good tonight.
Yeah, your hair is actually, kind of, like all nice and you're not laying in bed.
No, for the last couple of weeks, I've not been laying in bed. My back, I have a patch on it right now. So we're starting a new med regimen, my doctor and I. So
Get you a lidocaine.
Yep.
Yeah.
So my spasms aren't as bad. And that's why I usually have to lay out on the bed, is because I have to stretch my back out.
Yeah.
I'm still fidgety in the seat, and I'm trying not to do that on the show, but it's all working. Working with my doc.
You gotta do what you gotta do to manage.
Exactly.
Naomi uses those patches, but when you get a patch that's this big and you're putting it on a back of like hers, I'll cut them in half for her so they last twice as long.
Well, sometimes even on my back, where the muscle spasms are, it's only a small amount.
Yeah.
So even on my back, sometimes I'll turn it long ways and then it'll get both the spots.
Yeah. Well,
really...
Naomi, I'll cut hers in half because hers is like over here down low and then further up over here. So I'll like whack it in half and then I could put one here or put one here or just one down here and then use the other half later. But if you put a whole patch on her, after about 30 minutes to an hour, she gets kind of loopy.
Now, QC said he used the lidocaine for his throat cancer, and it worked really well.
Yeah.
It is working out for me. And Uncle Don is in the house. Hi, Uncle Don.
Hello, Don R.
Yeah, see, my back isn't fused or anything, and my L3 is just completely gone. And so I'm always got pinched nerves, and I just deal with it. I have
Cajun screws in my back.
Yeah.
It wasn't a nice experience on how everything happened, but God makes things happen for a reason. And now I'm in the catfish community and loving it.
Yeah.
So it brought me out to you people, whatever happened. So
it's just like when Naomi last year, she rolled her car. She's got 2 cadaver vertebrae, 2 rods, 16 screws, and they're now telling her that she'll never return to work again. And she's like, what am I going to do? So I told her, I said, well, I guess you're going to get a fishing license this year after, not having one for 7.
Right.
And just go have to, go hang out with us or do something, figure something out. She's not a person that can stay home. She'll go nuts.
What's that, Evan?
I said, Naomi, mail me some Monster cookies.
Hey, Avid, we can.
Robin, look at this. Last year, you started out as a contestant on one of the fishing tournaments.
Correct.
And look how far you come now.
Yeah, I'm reading chat.
You're a co-host now.
And I'm now a co-host. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're growing. Hello, Sandy.
Yeah, see, look at how I started out with mine. I started out ugly and got uglier.
Hey,
Sandy, hi.
I'd like to become Bigfoot yet.
I'd like to tell everyone.
When I started out, sorry, go ahead, Robin.
Silver Fox Fishing, Sandy, and Van 3, they're the ones that have hooked me up with my pontoon boat. And I cannot thank them enough. This year, you guys on this show, you will see me out fishing while the show is on in the river.
Good.
They have been fantastic. What a great couple.
Coastal Water says, I got on YouTube and found Bigfoot.
Yeah, see, when I started my channel,
Love you too,
my beard
Ronnie.
was about this long, like this, nothing. Now it's like this. So
Turtle Lady says no more back surgeries for me. One and done. Over it.
yeah. Well, they tried to do something. They tried to do something with mine, and they when they got in there and everything, they said that there's nothing they can do. the screws would just pull out because even though I broke my back, by tripping and falling forward and doing the damage I did, I have an underlying bone problem. So basically I have the bones of a 75, 80-year-old man. And I got osteoporosis real bad. And they said if they tried to put rods and screws in there, it would just pull the screws out. There was nothing for them to attach to. They'd have to do a full encagement, and that means going through the front and the back. And it was just, and I asked them, I was like, is it going to make me walk again? And they're like, well, no. And I'm like, then why go through it?
We can't promise you that.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, well, yeah, but what are you going to do? He's like, I suggest you get on a good pain regimen, get you a pain specialist, and then get you a good wheelchair and just enjoy life.
Right.
So I was like, well, does this mean I'm never going to work again? And he's like, pretty much. So the last 10 years I've been going nuts, and fishing is my downfall. So, you said, and many other people have said, once a disability happens or something in their life happens to where, I've got a friend that he didn't start fishing until he got a divorce. So, you have a major life thing happens, your life changes, and you pick up fishing as a side hobby and you start doing it.
Yep. And QC Brian says back problems are nothing to sneeze at. No, and if you sneeze when you have a back problem, it really hurts.
Well, you can be like me. When I sneeze, I dang near fall out of my chair because I can't. But I don't take pain pills or nothing. I don't do none of that stuff because I don't like the way it makes my body.
Reggie said he found you a cookie.
Oh, here, I found you a snickerdoodle, Avid.
No, thank you.
One of the drops off of the tray.
No, I went to the barber, my hair person that cuts my hair Friday. I asked her what was longer, the back of my hair or my beard.
What'd you say?
The back of my hair. It's below my shoulder blades.
Yeah.
You got
so
a
did
mullet.
You get a trim or did you get it cut?
I just got a light trim on my hair, left the beard alone.
Yeah. I went and got a haircut, shaved off some of it. I swear she's taking more off right here each time.
Hey, it looked like she caught you with a razor up there.
Yeah. When you're in the mirror in the bathroom, it doesn't look like so much is missing, but when you're out here on camera, it's like, the camera sees through some of it too. That's why I wear my hat all the time. I don't want to blind nobody with that sheen.
Mad Cat Fishing is in the house. He says, "Hello, all you beautiful people."
I'll tell you, Robin. What I found a pain specialist that they try not to prescribe pain pills if they can, and what they did. Yeah, when you put yourself in life, right? Yeah, what they did was they had me go on super high doses of vitamin D, whether it's D2 or D3. And I'm talking like 150,000 units a week.
Mm-hmm.
And doing that and staying on that and then keeping hydrated because, 90% of Americans are chronically dehydrated and staying hydrated. And when I'm saying staying hydrated, I'm talking like 2 gallons of water a day.
Oh,
so
super hydrated.
You got to pee a lot, but when you do that, it's amazing how much the pain subsides. And I know that sounds funny, but we are water-based creatures. We're carbon-based, but we thrive in a water-wet environment inside our bodies. Mm-hmm. So, and with my mother-in-law being a doctor and my son-in-law being an EMT, or my son being an EMT and my daughter-in-law being becoming an EMT or whatever she's becoming. With all of them, they're always talking about chronic dehydration. So a few years ago, I looked into the whole chronic dehydration thing. And if you keep yourself hydrated enough, you actually, it's a weight loss thing. It's a pain thing. And just overall, you stay hydrated, you're better off.
JBT,
Yeah.
retry that link because it didn't come out right.
I was trying to see what JBT wrote.
Tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Central Time on Sharina's channel, we will be live for a surprise announcement. She doesn't even know what that surprise is.
Oh, right on. So that's on.
Retry that link, JBT, 'cause
Is it going to
didn't
be
come out
on Gerald's channel or Sharina's?
Sharina's.
Okay.
Skull Rush says he hasn't had a haircut in 10 years. Hi, Hill Jack. Welcome in.
One thing I can say about Jody, she is actually a couple of things. She's a good friend and she's OG.
Yeah.
She's been around for a long time with me.
Well, I've only been on YouTube for a couple years.
You're getting to be an OG.
I've
I just
been
feel
watching
old.
YouTube on and off, just looking up different things for a few years, but I've never been active on YouTube
Well,
until.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning. I've been on YouTube for 12 years. Looking at stuff and watching videos and things like that. But as far as posting things for myself, it's only been a few years. But I also have another YouTube channel besides the fishing one, but most people don't know about.
Oh yeah, what's that one?
It's Lemon Fab. It's where I work on my Rambler and do my stuff in the shop.
Well, that's cool.
But I haven't. When Naomi had a wreck, that put our lives kind of on hold.
Mm-hmm.
With me having. For literally 2 months, I had to take care of her. She couldn't even get out of bed for 2 months. She was in the hospital for like 3.5 weeks. And then when she came home, she was in bed for 2 months. So for like 3 months, I didn't do much at all. I would do a video of tying something or whatever and all that. But on my car one, on that, I just pretty much have abandoned that one. I haven't posted nothing on there for probably a year. And that was the one that I was really into that one because I was working on the Rambler and I built a camouflage camper school bus that was an apocalyptic bus that had a big, massive bumper on the front. And the bench that I'm working on, my truck bed bench I have in here, that's off of my old 1978 square body pickup truck, my Chevrolet. It was so rotted out, the bed, I cut the back end off of it and hung it on my wall. And I used the tailgate as a shelf. And when I need to pull a car in, I can fold the tailgate up out of the way and don't have to worry about it. But I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. But I would rather be a master of none than a master of one.
Exactly.
I can attest to that one. I am a jack of all trades as well. I just don't let it out there that much.
I watched your mail opening video, David, and you got a present from Rusty, a very good friend of yours. And it didn't come in perfect condition, but instead of you lashing out and everything, you just said, I'm going to call and let him know, but I'll fix it myself. And I'm like, would I even know how to fix that? And I'm like, maybe. But then you took the time pre-show today and you even showed me what it was and how you were going to fix it. And that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, I got something I'll show you that I've been thinking about if I want to fix or not.
Okay. Now, QC Brian says, that's a good man right there. Kudos, sir.
I always try to find a way to fix things.
We found this in the lake.
Oh.
And I mean, nice. Look at the handle.
That's a bass rod.
I know, but you see the handle?
Uh-huh.
The worms got into it and ate it all up.
Ate that cork up.
Yeah. But I got it to where it will actually reel, but it won't release yet. So I'm going to pull this apart, and I don't even know what kind of reel this is. I'm giving it a spit shine and see. It's still got all this mud on it, so I am not going to lick the pond bottom or lake bottom muddy rod.
You're not going to lick all the scum off of it.
I can't even tell. I got to hold on a minute. I can get some clean. And now I'm really curious. I've had this thing for a few months. We found it to go a few months.
I can't
Jay says he's going to get back to fishing this week, but going to be from the dang bank. It is what it is.
Now, fishing's all I do, Hill Jack.
I'm curious now. I'm gonna get some PB, and we're gonna.
Now, JBT says that looks like an Abu Garcia Revo X.
It looks like
Or
a
is that a
bass
10?
to me.
So let's see what it is. Let's see if JBT is right. Well, JBT does do some bass fishing too. So that could be a bass fishing rod from Abu Garcia.
It's a
Shimano.
What does that say? Can't read it.
That'd be a Shimano.
Well, I thought at first it was a Shimano.
Zebco?
No, I hope it's not a Zebco.
Well, all I can see is where it says Mega Cast. So it's probably some generic one.
Yeah.
Oh, look who came out to see you.
I know.
Come on.
Go outside. I thought that's what you want. You want that rod? Here, look. Here, come here. Come here. Here, you want this rod?
What does she think of the snow, David?
She's snorting at the rod and like smiling at it. Go outside.
What does she think of the snow?
Brian,
What she think of this? She would go out and she would pounce in it like a little deer pouncing up and down. What are you doing? Here, go get Mama.
She wants that reel.
Yeah, well, I sprayed that PB, this stuff, PB blaster, and it's got such a fishy oil smell. I think that's what she was after. Because I sprayed it on that reel to see if I can see. But it just says Mega Cast. So if anybody knows, is that just a generic brand or
Mega Cast?
That's a if I'm correct, that's a Bass Pro style reel.
Well, it says MG10HA.
Oh, now Donner was saying MCX 10HD.
Yeah, but that if I remember correctly, that's a knockoff for Bass Pro baitcaster reel.
Yeah. Well, here I'm gonna see if I can find my paper towel I dropped. See if I can clean the rod off, and maybe we can tell what the rod is.
Reel.
Wait, you guys are talking over each other. What was that again?
I said, Skull Rush says that's even a Bass Pro reel.
JBT says he's going to be doing more bass fishing this year.
No, hey, I don't do it live when I bass fish.
Well, it's a Fluger pole. It says Fluger on it for the pole, so it's a Fluger pole. It's really hard to see. I don't know if you can see it right there.
Yeah.
No, I can't make it out.
It's gold letters with that brown lake bottom. So
yeah, the Flugers are really good bass rods.
Now JBT says that's a $50 reel, and Don R says still a Bass Pro Shop Mega Cast, just a different size.
Yeah.
Naomi wants to know how long you think that's been underwater.
I would say with the condition of it, probably at least a year, and if not more. You'd think if it was too long, the cork would be completely gone, but
no, cork normally holds up pretty well in water.
But Don R says it comes as a combo, so it's a combo rod and reel usually.
Well,
Naomi, it is. It's still a good find.
Yeah, it was.
It'd be fun to clean that up and see what he can do You should take a before picture and an after, David.
It says high modulus, MODULUS, right here on the butt of the handle,
Okay.
but I can't read the other side very well. It just got so much scale on it.
Yeah, but if you start cleaning it up real good and get that mud and grime off there, the leather should come out.
Okay, it says HM45 graphite. I didn't know. I've never heard of an HM45 graphite.
You see, Brian
I think
says
it could be
hi.
MH, medium heavy, modified
Yeah,
graphite.
medium heavy 45 graphite.
QC said high
High.
modulus graphite.
Right.
Yeah, well, even if you get this cleaned up and the pole still got its flex. It's not like broken or, there's no eyes missing on it. All the eyes are intact. Nothing on here is major rusty. It's just all corroded. If you could get it back to a good reel, you could even clean this up, this cork, and epoxy it and just, sand it to where it's smooth and maybe even do some color epoxy to go down in them holes and stuff.
That's what I was thinking, and along with the fact that you can get the heat wrap that just goes on it
Yeah.
and just heat wrap it.
I got heat wrap that big in the drawer.
The front left on ours said we'll have the Bass Pro symbol.
Unless you got knocked off.
Well, there's a lot of scale on this, and we could probably, if there's something else written up here. Well, there's something written right here. I keep losing my paper towel. You guys got me so curious now. You keep telling me different things.
JBT says, make Avid use it during me and Riri's 2v2. Yeah, your 1v1's coming up on April 8th there.
Yeah.
And Hilljack says, gonna be some good fishing. Make sure you all check it out end of the week.
We still haven't set a date up yet for the 2v2 yet.
I know we wanted to get through the 1v1, but I think we should go ahead and set up that 2v2 because then I can razz JBT about it.
That's
As
why
he's
I got
bass fishing.
that's why I got that chat set up in Messenger.
Well, this says Fluger.
Yeah, I've been doing it there. It's not as much fun if it's not out in public. What's that, David?
It says Fluger, and then it says ECHELON or OR. I can't tell.
Brian, I do have a bass rod that's set up with a, I think 15 to 20 pound test.
Well, I've got on my bass rod, I usually run 12 or 14 in mono, but if I use braid, I just use 30.
Well, I'm going to change out this bass rod line to 12 to 15 pound test because it's a little overbearing for it.
Well, my bass rod is a Daiwa Tatula Elite. So my wife is on here.
Yep.
Yeah, she's in here.
Yeah, you know how much those Daiwa Tatulas are.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I get it.
We get it. We get your point.
Yeah,
JBT
if it was a regular Tatula, it wouldn't have been so bad. But it was the Tatula Elite.
Yeah,
So-
the elites are very, very.
Watch it. Watch it.
But the most expensive rod I have is my fly rod.
I tell
Now,
you what,
JBT says the best thing he ever found at the lake was an Ingo cooler with a speaker light inside it. Why was a speaker light inside it?
Naomi says she knows all your secrets.
I know. The bad thing is that she has access to all the receipts because she's the one that I give the receipts to, and she goes puts up. So most of the time I get lucky and she doesn't look at them, so I don't get yelled at.
until after.
Now Hilljack says, heck, the net he uses, he caught dragging baits last year.
Now see, the only reels I got that's expensive are all my pins,
Yeah.
and I'm fixing to go buy another one.
Yeah. I use the Pin Pursuit 2s for my open case on my my open face, my bait casters, or my spinning reels. I gotta thank. It's been a long day, like I said. But on my spinning reels, my big catfish spinning reels, I'll use the Pin Pursuit 2 in a 4 or 500. I mean, a 4 or 5,000 series. But like my Uncle Lou's rods, I have Abu Garcias. All my bait casting rods are mostly Abu Garcias, except for my bass rod, which is a Daiwa. But all my my regular rods, my ultralight spinning rod, my light spinning rod, and my medium spinning rod, those are all the Daiwa Procyon.
See, my bait caster is a pin. My reel on Uncle Lou's rod is a pin. I just need to get me 2 more pins.
Yeah.
I have a Ancient Mariner reel. I have a Mad Catz rod that doesn't have a reel on it yet. I do have the reel, but I do also have now 4 Uncle Lou rods. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I only have one. And then I have 3 Piscifins. 4.
I was looking through this tackle box I'm fixing to mail out, and I still have a couple Patriot floats.
Nice.
Sorry, I had to tell them to go get the dog.
Brian, that's all I use is Akuma rods. Since Bass Pro quit making Catbuster rods, I switched over to Akuma. Hey, Rustic.
Hi, Rustic.
I love my Akuma rods.
Hey, now
And Pinky
give me
Waving.
that rod that's over there.
JBT says, I think the speaker light inside was because they were 4 drunk people from Dallas. They trashed the spot and left the fire going. I bet if they weren't so drunk, they wouldn't have forgot it. They were loud
Okay.
drunk, shooting and hollering, being annoying.
Greenhouse.
ASF. I went there and
In the house.
they left to put their campfire out, and lucky me.
Okay, this is like my number 1 crappie rod that I use, and it's a Fluger XT reel. See that?
Ronnie,
But-
I'm actually in Michigan.
Then I use the Procyon series from Daiwa.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why I like these is like
I'm going to put him back on big screen so he keeps showing us what he's got.
I just knocked over 3 years of receipts.
Oh,
man,
no.
you're gonna
I
be
thought
happy
it was
with
all
that.
the jig heads.
No, it's the Rambler receipts. But the reason why I like this rod is the end of it is kind of hard to see. But the end of it, you see how small and tiny that is?
Yeah.
But look at this.
Yep.
This is why I like this rod. Because even the lightest little, I know it's hard to see, but the lightest little dink makes
Mhm.
this rod bend. This is 2-pound line and it's making that rod bend like that. But
Wow.
this is why I like it. Because you're not going to break it.
Right. Hilljack wants to know what I think about the Ancient Mariner and how I like it. It is the smoothest casting reel I have, and I love it. Now that was my first bait casting reel that I got, and I learned on that. And I'll tell you what, for me being a beginner, I did not nearly do as many backlashes, rat's nests, whatever you want to call
Backlash
it.
and the rat nest in it.
Yeah. And it was easy to, get those out. It didn't seem to tangle up as much as some of the others I got after. But now I don't have any.
Okay. You see that little black thing on my line?
I do. That's a bobbin or
it's a
copper.
bobber stop.
Yeah.
But these are actually, if you look at it, it's got a taper to it. These
Yep.
are actually for worm weights. It's when you're bass fishing for worms, to keep the bullet weight down on the worm. But
Yeah.
I
Oh,
use
okay.
them for bobber stops because they're easier and you don't have the string in the way. You know, when
Well,
you use
I got some bubble straps too. That's it.
yeah.
I like the rubber ones better than them.
I like the rubber ones better than I do the string ones. But then what I do is, of course, put a bobber on.
You don't put a bead on there first?
No, I don't run beads. Beads make your line sink in the water. So just the bobber stop in the bobber, but then I'll put the jig on the end. And that's what I was actually going to do here was tie one up. Here, I'll just use a regular jig.
Yeah.
Now,
I got a
what
bead
knot
on
do
my
you
4-foot
use to tie
rod.
your jig on?
But that's what I'm going to kind of show you if you can see.
Okay.
But if I want a loop knot, loop to where it'll move more freely, I'll take and I'll just tie a little square knot in my line like this, to where, I know it's really hard, guys, but you get a little square knot in there like this. Okay. Then you put your jig head on, your tag into your line. And try not to drop it. Of course, so I'm sitting here. Let me get a heavier line. But anyways,
Okay.
you put your. I want to show you guys what I do. But you just tie your jig on there, and I'm just going to do a quick regular fisherman's knot, just to get the job done, and then I'll show you with a heavier line the other knot I use. That way it can be seen.
At least you can see the eyelet.
Well, and it's hard to see 2-pound line, anyways. Yeah, and I know I use my teeth. I go to the dentist.
Trust me.
Okay. So then you got this. So, but the reason why I like the slip bobber is because when you go to cast it, come here. When you go to cast it, that's all you're casting, and then it slips down. But if you go to jerk on your bobber, the jig comes up
Yeah.
before the bobber starts to move.
Right.
And a crappie wants that jig to swim up away from it. It doesn't want it to go out because it'd rather just do a couple tail flicks and get the thing instead of have to chase it down. But they still will chase it down.
Oh yeah, they'll chase a jig down a good 3 to 5 feet away.
Yeah.
I know that one.
But
Yes, Ronnie, I know that you know Jody. I see you on her lives.
Yeah, Ronnie, she's OG. I know her really good. I used to have her as a guest and a co-host.
Now, JBT says he uses bobber stops. He says, yeah, bobber stops are awesome for a lot of stuff, a lot of uses for them. I only used rubber bobber stops as well.
yeah. But there are times where if I'm only fishing a foot deep with a bobber, like if I'm literally only going to be a foot, maybe 18 inches deep, the straight old foam fixed bobbers work just fine. And if I'm in a kayak or someplace where, so in a kayak, you're a little bit more unstable, right? So in a kayak, if you get hung up in the brush, right, and you go to try to bend over in that brush, and you're in a kayak, you're going in the brush. So what I do is I'll use these fixed bobbers when I'm up around the brush, because if I lose this 12-cent bobber, I don't care.
Somebody else who comes out that was.
My crappie rod, what I use, this is a Daiwa. She came out here to tell me somebody asked what rod I used. This is a Daiwa, and it's called a Procyon.
Mm-hmm.
And then just for that person that asked, I don't know if it'll show up, but there's the model number. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. There you go.
Yep. There we go.
And see, it's only good for 32nd to an eighth
Right.
and 1 to 6 pound line.
Yeah.
So, and they're $80. So it's a mid-priced line. I mean, a mid-priced rod, in my opinion.
Come on, where you at? There you go.
Yeah, see, Avid, you got some red ones.
Yeah, I bought these off Amazon. I bought 2 packs of 150 in each pack for about like $9 a piece.
Oh yeah, that's a good buy. Yeah, I pay like $1.19 or something for 12 of them.
But I got them off Amazon at a really good price when I found them.
Well, I like those reds because, that little black thing, now that I got my new glasses, that little black thing, I can see that black thing coming up to my bobber and that's when it's 50 feet out. Now, that's also, you're looking at the sheen of the water, so you're seeing the reflection, and you can see that little black thing if you got good enough eyes. But a red one would be so much nicer. And then the biggest key is also if you throw out and your bobber lays sideways when you're using a slip bobber, it's got wind tangled and stuff, so you might as well just reel it back in and reset.
Yeah, good thing with these, you can get these from various line sizes for like crappie line sizes, the striper line sizes, the catfish line sizes. So if you need something for like 30, 40 pound test.
Yeah.
For your, like if you're lining up your Patriot floats, you can get these in a larger size to handle that kind of line.
Yeah.
There you
Well,
go.
I've seen them to where they make them to where they're, 1/4 inch in diameter.
Uh-huh.
Now, Thumpaholic says he's going to look into that one. He said that thing flexed. I was like, and then he shows his eyes bugging out emote. So,
the
you just
tip?
might as well- yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And then
I like it because being in the wheelchair, sometimes I'll stick my rod, between my legs so I can wheel, and every
Mhm.
once in a while it'll fall. And I have busted a couple tips on rods.
Thumpaholic, I have Joe Ugly Stick Dock Runner, so I know it's fun to reel in a big cat off one of them. I almost broke mine once.
Thumpaholic Fishing says, I have little dock runner, but that one would be a real find.
Yeah.
Meaning yours.
Yeah.
And QC
Yeah,
Brian says,
I
you
think
could have
they
fun
just,
with the smallmouth with that rod.
yeah. Well, this rod here, if you drop shot with a 1/4 ounce or an 1/8 ounce, some
Mhm.
finesse drop shot stuff, even if you get a 16th ounce, drop, you'd be able to fill it with that rod. Because today we were using 1/4s, and it was perfect. So, what
I certainly will. Thumpy is much easier.
to these people.
What is Belzebub?
Talking to these people. Oh,
I know with all those bobber stops I got, as many of them as I got, I won't need to buy bobber stops for another year,
Yeah.
maybe 2.
She is beautiful, isn't she, Thumpy?
she's a big turd.
I think I got
Aren't
close to 2,000 bobber stops. out of
Wow.
2 packages.
Well, Avid, you've got my address. You can mail me a few of them. I'll help you use them.
There you go.
I think I can arrange
We
that.
can swap for cookies.
Naomi said we'll
There
send
you
you a couple cookies.
Ooh, cookies? Ooh.
Don't think she won't mail you some cookies, Avid.
I'm in my
Oh yeah, I forgot. You have my address.
Yeah. I'll mail a box of granola every once in a while that she makes, homemade granola. And I'll mail it to my buddy out in Colorado every once in a while.
There you
Of
go.
course, he's always got the munchies, so he's always needing granola. He lives in Colorado.
Brian, I got those bobber stops off Amazon.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out. I need some bigger bobber stops like that.
Well, see, with those, like I said, with those bobber stops, you can get them according to the size you want.
Yeah.
And those are the micro ones for the anywhere from 1 to 6 pound test
Yeah.
for crappies. I got some that's bigger. That's that fit 30 to 40 pound test.
QC
Yeah,
Brian
when
would like to know, Avid, those bobber stops local or Bass Pros maybe?
No, those are Amazon. Hello, Lee Adams.
JBT. Look at what JBT sent to you.
I'm ignoring JBT. Hey, you know how I could do that? How I could take care of him?
I figured.
Well,
Scholar
Avid,
says,
I'm-
bobber stops for cookies. I'm in.
Yeah.
There. Take care of that for him for a few minutes.
Lee Evans, Catfishing Kentucky Outdoors in chat says, hey everyone, how's it going? Who day? Howdy, Lee. Welcome in.
Well, when Naomi makes some cookies, Avid,
For 12
I'll
bucks.
mail you some cookies.
What's your favorite?
He wants monster cookies.
Okay.
Hilljack says,
Hey,
just
that way
over
I'll-
1,200 on Amazon for $12.
Hey, monster cookies for Bigfoot. What? How can you go wrong?
Yeah. Well, if I get her to make you monster cookies, that just means I get some too.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, there's a secret
Hey,
behind
you
that.
get them fresh out of the oven.
Yeah. I get them while they're still hot and gooey.
That's all right. I still eat them.
But I need to go too, Avid. So
All right. Well,
she's
It was
what
nice
she. That's why
having you up here.
she was whispering in my over here beside me is like, come in the house, come in the house.
well,
Alrighty, well, thank you for coming in.
we'll get with you again and talk about that tackle talk.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I'd come up and we could do a whole tackle talk. I'll get a few of my boxes out.
Good.
I'll bring mine out and show you what I got in mine and the rod I like to use.
Oh
but
my goodness. We are going to have a show and tell, ladies and gentlemen.
If I have the kids, if I get enough notice, I could get all the poles out and I could like line them up down the wall. And from the last count, I think that'd be around 70 some.
I think that's an overkill.
Well,
I held that. Thanks again for
the
coming
thing
in.
is I probably have most of the rods from the last 30 years that I have, and the ones I haven't given away. And I've got like, I go to a garage sale and I'll see like, 5 or 6 rods for sale. And I'll be like, would you take, $20-$30 for the whole lot or something like that? And you'd be surprised how many women just go, they were my husband's, he's been, up in heaven for 5 years or whatever. Just take them all. I'll be like, oh, I'll put him to use. I'll make him proud.
Art,
There you go.
that is Bigfoot's last victim.
Oh yeah.
They got Bigfoot mad. That's what happened to him.
That's the last co-host. That's what happens to
He
each of
he got his
co-hosts
top
when they
knocked
leave.
off, literally.
That is from someone that got Bigfoot mad. That's the results.
But yeah, I would love to come up and we could do a whole tackle talk. We could talk about, I've got some tackle from the 50s. I'll get out some of the old ancient stuff, and we can just kind of have a show and tell and just talk about it and see what everybody's got.
Hey, I got an old rod that you probably don't remember.
What's that?
A Johnson and Johnson rod and reel.
A Johnson and Johnson?
Reel.
Yeah. There's an old Green Johnson out in the garage, out in the semi trailer. One of them, it's all metal. It's a skinny neck. It's got the wire bell. It's a spinning rod.
Well, we'll make a Facebook chat and we'll talk about it.
Okay, right on.
We'll get the 3 of us in on it.
Right
Sounds
on.
good. QC Brian says that looks like JBT, your little masks thing. And Thumpy says, thanks for hosting and being a stimulating community. Thanks for coming in, Thumpy. I really mean that.
Hey, that's what's going to happen to JBT when I'm done with him.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me up, Avid. Sorry I didn't respond quicker.
Oh, no problem. Hello,
You were
Catfish
fine,
Dog.
David.
Avid was trying to get a hold of me on Messenger for a minute, and I was busy and I wasn't paying attention to the phone. So
I want to say a quick hello to some people that just came in. Catfish Dog Art, welcome in. You're just catching this right when we're ending the live. But next week we will have Paula
I know,
Smith
Naomi. Go
as a
ahead.
guest.
Who's your guest?
Next week will be Paula Smith.
right on.
So be here, be ready, and have your questions for her. She's
Well,
a
thanks to
legendary catfishing queen.
Yeah, thanks to everybody for letting me come up, and thank you, Avid. Robin, you have a great day.
You
Y'all
too,
be
David.
blessed. Everybody in chat, be blessed. Remember, we got everybody in the prayer list that needs to be on, and if we don't know, well, shoot us a message so we can.
Hang on for a few
Exactly.
minutes after we end this.
Okay.
Everybody, good night. Be blessed. Remember, everybody that needs your in the catfishing family, you're in our thoughts and prayers. So, if you're not fishing,
See you on the next one.
Go tie something.
go catch a giant.
Just
Jody,
have fun.
Go catch a 70-pound flathead for me, would you please? And I'll message you later, Jody.
I'd watch Jody's video.
Good night and tight lines.